Hi, welcome. My name is Steve Larson. I'm excited to teach your son or daughter in consumer math this year. I know this way isn't starting out or this year isn't starting out the way that we wanted it to, but I'm excited to be getting to know your kids, and I think that they've been working real hard so far and making the most of the situation right now. So, a little bit about myself. I grew up in Westmont, so I went to Westmont High School and graduated from there. My parents still live over there, not too far from Downers North, actually. Um, I went to University of Illinois for college, got a finance degree. This is now my third career. I was a personal banker for a few years. I did some sales and marketing for a few years, and then eventually found my way to teaching. Ironically enough, my first major when I was in college was to be a high school math teacher, and I changed my mind immediately. And then, 12 years after I graduated, came back to it. So I guess it was kind of meant to be. Um, so this is my seventh year here at Downers Grove North. I've been teaching the same classes every year, so I've been pretty fortunate to kind of get a good feel for each of the courses, including consumer math. I coach the freshman boys basketball. I've always kind of been a basketball junkie. So if you could see my classroom, which unfortunately you won't for open house, but I got my basketball posters all over the place, and a lot of the kids kind of like that. But yeah, so my seventh year, coached every year, taught consumer math every year. Um, and other than my first year, I've had an incredible co-teacher, Mr. Najjar, who I'm not sure if you'll be hearing from tonight, but you'll be hearing from shortly. He's been out the last 3 or 4 days with some family stuff going on, but I know he'll be posting something shortly so that you guys can get to know him as well. So me and him have been teaching for 6 years now. We work really well together. It's nice that this class is very real world oriented. A lot of students say, when am I going to use this? But when we're calculating a paycheck or talking about getting a car loan or budgeting, they can't really say that, right? Because from the day they graduate, pretty much they'll be doing a lot of those things. So it's kind of nice to have the buy-in. So yeah, so about the course a little bit, I kind of mentioned we focus a lot on financial topics. So in addition to what I mentioned, we talk about auto loans, um, how to pay taxes, a lot of like consumer education topics that are more towards math geared. Um, So in terms of the course, like kind of day to day, so we meet 3 days a week under this current schedule. Hopefully at some point we'll be back to full time and in person 5 days a week. But um, typically we try to give the students enough time during class to finish their homework. So our best workers will not really ever have homework. So if your child is really good at getting things done, then don't be surprised if they don't have any homework because we usually give like 25 minutes or so in a current class period to get some work done. So it's kind of a nice feature of the class. Um, Expectations are that the students are in class the entire time in the remote environment. We tell them that signing off before class is over is basically the equivalent of walking out the door if we were in the building. So, um, if they need to step out to use the restroom or, something like that, we're okay with that. But we do also provide a couple minutes in the middle of class where we take a break and let them do things like that. We do accept late assignments. So if students don't get things done for whatever reason, I know things can get overwhelming, juggling a lot with sometimes taking 6, 7 classes. We accept late work as long as they let us know when the late work has been turned in. Usually every other week we have some sort of assessment, whether it's a quiz or a test, and we try to do those all on Fridays. It might be a little less consistent under this schedule, but we try to end the week with the assessment to kind of put a cap on what we've learned. Makes it a little less stressful having to remember things over a long weekend all the time. So usually 1 to 2 quizzes per unit, followed up by a test, and then we always try to have some sort of real world type project um, that goes with that topic. And that's really the best part about the class. So we've had one project so far where the students did a little bit of research on a career that they might be interested in. Um, they they looked up education that's needed, what the outlook is in terms of hiring, if there's going to be jobs available, um, income information, and then we had them create a math problem, you know, related to that topic. So, you can ask them if you can take a look at that. They did it on a Google Slides presentation, so they looked really nice. In terms of being successful in the class, if your child is there every day taking notes, there's no reason they should not be successful. We put a heavy stress in terms of the grade book on homework and projects, more so than other classes do. So those two, along with tests, they're not exactly equal, but they're roughly the same weight for those categories. So um, really, if your kid is struggling, it could be any one of those things because they're all weighted pretty high. But if they're showing up, doing the work, getting their projects done, the tests are all open note, so that really shouldn't be a stressful area in this class. But inevitably, everyone's going to need help at some point. So if they do, they can reach out to me or Mr. Najjar. He has his office hours posted, as do I. And as of now, mine are Tuesday, Thursday nights from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., Saturdays from 1 to 2, and then every teacher is available from 11 to 11:30, Tuesday through Friday for student check-in. And all that time I just mentioned, I'm available on my office hours Zoom link, which the students know how to access that. It's posted on Google Classroom, and feel free to ask your student, can I take a look at Mr. Larson's Google Classroom page, just so you can see some of the information that we post on there. So if any of you have questions, um, whether it's just, hey, I forgot what you said about this, or, how are you handling this? Feel free to reach out. You can email me. It's slarsen, Larsen, at csd99.org. And I'd be more than happy to either schedule a Zoom call or just, you know, work it out through email, whatever the case might be. So hope you guys have a great rest of your open house, and I look forward to hopefully meeting you guys someday and getting to work with your kids throughout the year. Thanks, guys.